Aquarius, what's good? It's your boy Dave B. You watching Beyond Astrology, where we dive into, of course, astrology, but also spirituality, psychology, and other things that we can use and incorporate as tools to help us learn more about ourselves. And as we become better versions of ourselves, we can also express and connect and help inspire others and make the world a better place as a byproduct. I'm very happy to be here with y'all today. Yeah, today this is going to be y'all January horoscope breakdown. I know it's late in the month, but we still before the halfway mark. So, you'll still be able to get a lot of good information and insight. Now, this is specifically for the ascendants, even though I got love for the sun, moon, and ascendants. But we're going to be looking at house placements. So we need to know where the sun is going to be traveling during the month, which is through Capricorn, which is where it's at right now, but also it's going to move into y'all sign, at least the first part of y'all sign. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about yeah, we're going to break it down. We're going to look at the sun, and the reason we focusing on the sun's placement is because that's where the theme, we're going to get a sense of what we should be paying attention to and what we should be acting on. So for y'all, currently, yeah, I think y'all are dealing with second house, right? No, no, 12th house, 12th house. I'm tripping. 12th house, right? 12th house going into your first house. So right now you got Capricorn dancing in the background. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, right? Capricorn dancing in the background, and y'all are it's about to be y'all time to kind of get back into y'all personal flow of things. Now, also depending on if you have, the degree of your house, and if you have overlapping houses, it might kind of mess with the alignment a little bit, but not to be confused. It might be a little to the left, a little to the right, but for the most part, just look around, because the other videos that give you context as to kind of the full message of what your reading is. But I'm just gonna keep these as simple as possible. But yeah, so getting back to it. So Capricorn dancing in y'all 12th house, which is the house of um, it's the house of mystery, it's the dream house, it's the also illusions, and they call it the house of self-undoing because it's the subconscious, and a lot of times what's going on in the subconscious comes back to bite us because we're not aware of it, and that lack of awareness means that we are making conscious decisions and actions that go against what our true nature is trying to do. It's also the house of faith and belief. So being that, there's, and not only is, the sun going there, but you also got not Neptune, Venus, Mars, Mercury, all playing in y'all 12th house. So there could be a lot of it's a lot of concentrated energy in that space, right? So in the best I guess scenario, y'all had a lot of creativity to work with. In the worst case, y'all had a lot of delusion to work through. This is also the house of kind of being well, maybe not revealed yet, but like secret, kind of, they say hidden enemies. So things, again, being delusional, thinking things are one way, but they actually play out to be another way. So hopefully y'all didn't get yourselves into too many unwanted scenarios and situations. Hopefully y'all didn't manifest too many crazy things. But this has been probably a time for y'all to kind of more so reflect and consider how, everybody should be in a reflection type state, even though the Gregorian calendar got everybody energy to kind of be focused on trying to start new. It's a new year. It's not the new year until March, hopefully you know that. So, when we hit late March and we get into Aries season, that's when the new year energy really kicks in, and it's supposed to start in spring. Right now, we're still in the winter portion, which is way more about, people think of New Year's resolutions as let me start this, but it's really resolution to bring resolve to something. So you're resolving and clearing out what's no longer part of the program. And for y'all, I kind of feel like y'all kind of in an ideal space because in this rush of January, everybody running around, but y'all being that everything is in your 12th house, it's really more about leaning back for a second and kind of reflecting, reconnecting to what y'all believe in. And hopefully what you believe in is yourself. It starts with you. So, when it comes to your love matters, when it comes to even your passions and things like that, these things might have felt especially like Mars, because it's exalted in Capricorn, but it's in your 12th house. So hopefully that reconnected you with passions and creativity. Hopefully you fell back in love with Venus in the 12th, fell back in love with something that you believed in as a creative project or something you had faith in. Or have had time to kind of love yourself again, by just doing things that you enjoy. Hopefully that was kind of more so y'all reality. But we do got Pluto. Pluto's been in your first house, well, some of y'all, maybe not all of y'all, but Pluto is in Aquarius early degrees. So this whole stellium will be passing through that. And, hopefully in this time of reflection, moving into the first house, and it goes through that Pluto interaction. It's a time for kind of being very clear about what you want your mission to be. Because that's really the space we are supposed to be in right now. It's more so considering how we want not only 2026 to look like, but we're starting a whole nother 9 year cycle. So what we want the next 10 years to potentially be, and kind of, some people are in a grieving process. Like y'all might be more so grieving the past and the past life that y'all lived. And so, being okay with that, accepting that, healing from that is going to be you actively looking forward to what it is you want to construct. And as this energy pours into your first house, that's going to be you getting back to self. Now, that's also important too, because in the year one, being that we're going from 2025, which is a year nine, to a year one, the overarching theme of 2026 is to be back aligned with what makes sense for you. And that should be no problem as an Aquarius rising. I mean, y'all are the kings and queens of independence, individuality, and saying, I could give two fucks about what this person, that person, or whoever thinks about who I am and what I'm doing. That's a strong Aquarius personality, and the thing about it is it might feel alienating, but again, that's also something you might not be too unfamiliar with. It might be alienating, but if you're being authentic and genuine, then that alienation is the best thing that could ever happen, because it opens space for the right people to come and associate with you that belong in your space and your circumference. Now, as an Aquarius rising, I believe if Leo is your seventh, that means Aquarius is in your what, eighth? No, 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 not Aquarius. If Leo is in your seventh house, that means Cancer is in your sixth house. So that's the house of work, routine, scheduling. You have Jupiter there. So you might have been kind of maybe experiencing or expanding different avenues when it comes to work, what could be possible, and potentially, potentially the potential of your work routine. Also connecting back to how you feel about it. The better you feel about your routine and your work and day to day, the more kind of good fortune or positive things that could kind of manifest for you. That's just a kind of rule of thumb for y'all. But Jupiter will be moving into y'all seventh house. And so that is also another energy, is going to be opposing. But when Jupiter is opposing your ascendant, it's kind of a situation where there's a lot of things to be learned through relationship and things of that. But we'll talk about that when we get closer into that transit. um for now though, the main theme, yeah, your work schedule routine, hopefully you find yourself expanding in there. You might even be learning more about your, kind of learning more emotional intelligence based upon how you have organized your day-to-day schedule and what you got on routine. Um, what else we got? So for y'all, what your fourth house would be, what's the next square? So for Aquarius, oh, I'm having a mind blank. If it's Taurus, that's what it is in y'all fourth house. So you got Uranus there, late degree, but that's not what I was trying to get to. I was trying to get to um Aries, which would be y'all third house. My bad. Sometimes I'll be having to jump and find what I'm looking for. So Aries, for y'all third house, this is y'all surroundings. Now, late in January, we got Neptune going into Aquarius. I mean, Neptune going into Aries. So that's going to bring the energy of creativity, imagination, but also the potential for illusion in your surroundings. So the importance of the work you're doing now is to get clear. In the 12th house, things might, you have to kind of be more intuitive and let things flow. But as the energy moves into your first house, there's going to be a clear opportunity for you to now incorporate more creativity and be a little bit more imaginative with how you want to construct your surroundings and how you want that to play out for you. But on the flip side, there could be the potential of having illusions in your surroundings. So you might find yourself needing to kind of maybe consider how you want to, moving or something like that to that degree. You might consider, and not necessarily consider moving, but you want to, how you participate with your surroundings might change. And it could change in a creative way, or it could change in a way where, you might have to be just a lot more mindful of who you're kicking it with, who you spending time with in your surroundings, or the things that you're familiar with can turn into potentials to be really creative for you. Or you might find yourself kind of fidgeting and fumbling with things that aren't really leading anywhere, which if it's just a hobby, that's not a problem. But don't trick yourself into thinking that something that you are familiar with, you need to stick with, and it's going to produce some kind of result that you haven't quite tested or tried. But what I'm not saying is to not like experiment and stuff like that. Go ahead and experiment with what you are working with. But, because again, like it could be just a hobby, but you might think, oh, this is gonna be my get rich quick or get out the hood free card. You know what I'm saying? This could be my next big thing. And then it's like, or somebody in your surroundings could come with you or come to you with some kind of quick rich we could do this and we could do that. And they might be blowing your head up with all these potentials, but there's been nothing done that can support that reality and stuff. So, just being mindful of that and taking your time. Again, back to what personally aligns with you. That's going to be the key. So if it doesn't make sense for you to invest in, it doesn't make sense for you to do, then again, let's let people talk and have that, and you just ghost and kind of go and do your own thing, which is always the case for y'all for the most part. But yeah. Um, what else? I think that's kind of the bulk of it. Chiron is in your third house, so they're, try, speaking, communicating and things like that. Also, what can help with the energy in Neptune going into Aries is to talk it out. Talk it out, have the conversation so that you can get a clear view on what's going on. Oh, the new moon, that's also what I left out. So the new moon is gonna be in y'all, it should be in y'all either late 12th house or maybe even in your first house, because it's going to be in Capricorn but cuspy. So that whole energy, the new moon brings new awareness. So there's going to be a new awareness, maybe new things to build faith on, because we're dealing with Capricorn, but then we're also dealing with the 12th house. So new things to build faith or self-belief about. Specifically self-belief, because it's going into the first house for you. So you might have to have, incorporate a new perspective on your belief in yourself, whatever it is that you want your next year this year to look like, and the next X amount of years to look like. You have to start and initiate that with you believing that it's possible, you believing that you're capable. And again, you might not see yourself in that. You might not feel like you have the skills and ability to achieve that, but that's where you have to now, first of all, have the faith that you can achieve it. Then all you got to do at that point is put in the work to learn the things that you got to learn. And Jupiter in your sixth house could help with that, can actually assist with that. So, and it might be moved into your seventh house. So again, there might be good fortune that might be bestowed upon you if you make the right connections, and you are an Aquarius rising. So you have the personality that can associate well. You might need to find a community or get involved in a group who's doing things that you want to invest in. And that's going to help you later on down the line, because think about what you want to personally invest in. If you get connected with a community that's also doing things that are similar or involved with the thing that you're personally interested in, guess what? When we get into the next sign, which is Pisces, that's your second house. Y'all can start to plant seeds there for value, invest there for your dreams and imaginations to grow, So that's how those things are. Astrology is a tool in progression, a tool I don't know how to connect the sentence I'm trying to make, but it's progression is one of the key factors. Think about how things flow into the next thing, just like the natural flow of life. We're in the wintertime preparing ourselves for the spring so that we can have a clear launch pad. All right. Yeah, other than that, I hope this was helpful. If you would like to get a personalized reading, you can reach out to me at davebeyond95 at gmail.com. And how I do my readings, or make sure you put astrology help in the subject line. But how I do really readings are based on a person's personal needs. So, you know, type in the body of the email what it is you want to get a reading about or around or based, and then I'll get your natal chart information and then we'll go from there. Yeah, and so if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, make sure you actually hit that like button as it helps the channel. Drop a comment, and yeah, much love, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.